You're on the record.
We'll call case 2020-602, the case of the people of the state of Michigan versus Darius Gray. Mr. Gray is here today electronically via Zoom, along with his attorney, Ms. Easterday, as well as Ms. Himes from the prosecutor's office and Mr. Owens from probation. Today is the date and time set for sentencing. We're proceeding electronically due to the COVID-19 outbreak. Case is being recorded and streamed live on YouTube for the public to observe. Any objection, Ms. Easterday, to proceeding in this manner?
None, Your Honor.
And Ms. Himes?
No objection, Your Honor.
Mr. Gray, any objection to proceeding electronically here today?
No, Your Honor.
Very good. Then has the defense reviewed the pre-sentence report and the sentencing guidelines with your client?
Mr. Gray and I went through them on Friday.
Any additions, deletions, or corrections?
Yes.
Go ahead.
On page 3 in the evaluation and plan, in the 4th paragraph, I would say that sentences 2 and 4 are opinion and editorializing, and there's nothing to support any statement about what the victim may or may not need, because they have not talked to the victim and there was nothing to support that.
It starts where the victim could suffer long-term trauma.
That one, that sentence, which is the last sentence, also throwing someone barely clothed, it's editorializing, and I don't believe that's the point of the PSI, so I would ask for that sentence to be stricken.
Ms. Himes?
The people would argue that the language is appropriate.
Those two sentences can be deleted from the PSI or will be deleted from the PSI. Any other changes, Ms. Easterday?
Yes, in the agent's description of the offense, paragraph 2 is completely hearsay and would never come in at a trial in any way, shape, or form, so we would ask that it be stricken.
Are you talking about the one that starts with Roscoe Manns went to Battle Creek Police Station?
That one, yes, correct.
Ms.
Yeah, not
Himes?
his daughter or talk to his daughter.
Your Honor, the people would argue that I would object to that being removed. That is the probation agent's summary of the events, which is the purpose of the agent's description of the offense for the purposes of sentencing. That's information.
It's appropriate. Go ahead.
I was simply going to say that's information they've taken from the police report in an effort to summarize the event for the PSI.
It is appropriate. While it may be hearsay at a trial, it also, there are some exceptions, and it gives context to how the police became involved in this situation. I understand, the contents of it may not be taken as credible, but the remainder of it then explains what the police found later on. So therefore, it's appropriate and will remain. Ms. Easterday?
Yes, in the employment section, my client has obtained a job. His start date is February 1st. He will be working full-time with JBS in Plainwell.
If you can get that information to probation, then they'll add that to the employment section.
Okay.
Any other corrections?
I have a challenge to the guidelines.
Go ahead.
OV4 is scored at 10 points. There is nothing, no statement from the victim, no information saying that she was psychologically injured. I believe that that cannot be scored without at least some statement from a victim to support that, based on People v. Swift, which is Supreme Court docket 160213.
Ms. Himes?
People would argue that OV4 is scored appropriately based on the overall circumstances. It's reasonable to believe that the victim in this case had to seek professional treatment, and just because she didn't seek professional treatment does not mean that OV4 cannot be scored.
Without a victim statement or testimony from the victim, 0 points will be scored for OV4.
Your Honor, I believe that changes the total LV level from 35 to 25, which takes the guidelines 0 to 9 instead of 0 to 17.
Very good. Any other objections?
That is all, Your Honor. Thank you.
And Mr. Gray, did you review the report with your attorney?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you see any other corrections other than the ones she already noted?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Himes?
The people have no other changes, Your Honor.
All right. With that, the report is adopted for sentencing. The guidelines are now appropriately scored, although advisory in nature. Allocution then, Ms. Easterday?
Your Honor, we would ask that you follow the plea agreement. It is in line with the recommendation. My client has taken responsibility for this action and would like to move on with his life and believes that probation and the stuff that is involved with probation and the agreement is appropriate at this time.
All right. Thank you. Mr. Gray, anything you want to tell the court before sentencing here today?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Himes?
We would ask the court to follow the recommendation as it is in line with the plea agreement, Your Honor.
And Ms. Himes, are you aware of anybody from the, are you aware of any victim that wishes to address the court or has contacted you?
I'm not aware that any victim has contacted us that wants to address the court for sentencing today, Your Honor.
Very good. Thank you. I had the opportunity to review the report. You're 28 years old, and Mr. Gray, you're too old to behave in this way. Very violent, inappropriate, whether it's a woman or any other person. It was something that was totally uncalled for. While it's not scored, I have no doubt it was traumatic for including you, everybody involved. It sounds like it was crazy. But seriously, if you behave that way in the future, somebody's going to get hurt even worse, and you're going to be punished even worse. So you got a great resolution in this particular case that is much in your favor, probably mostly because of your lack of history and some other reasons associated with the facts of the case. But count your blessings and learn from it and gain some insight into why you behave this way. Because if you don't, then we'll see each other again, and it probably won't go so well for you. Okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. I'll go along with the recommendation. You'll serve the next year and a half on probation. You'll abide by all the usual terms and conditions. Those will be explained to you in your probation order and also by your agent. All the special conditions are applicable to your probation. I'm going to read just the one to you. That is, you're not to have any verbal, written, electronic, or physical contact with Ms. Manns, either directly or through another person. You're not to be within 500 feet of her residence, school, or place of employment. You want to violate probation, have contact with her, and you'll find out real fast what a violation looks like, okay?
Yes.
That's an absolute, okay. $60 DNA fee, $68 in state costs, $130 crime victim fee, $30 a month probation oversight fee, $60 a month if you're on electronic monitoring, $440 in court costs, a $100 fine, and $250 for the services of your attorney. Do you understand your sentence in this matter?
Yes, Your Honor.
You may request leave to appeal this plea-based conviction and sentence. If you need an attorney to assist you with that appellate process, that request needs to be made in writing within 42 days of today's date. Do you understand those rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Easterday or her office will send you a copy of this form. That is your form. If you want to appeal this conviction or sentence, fill it out completely and return it to me within 42 days of today's date. If you don't want to appeal your conviction or sentence, you can just disregard it, okay? But you do have a limited time to get it back to me. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. As soon as we finish here in just a moment, I'm going to put you in a breakout room with Mr. Owens. He's going to explain what your next steps are in your probation grant. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Easterday, anything else?
I have nothing further, Your Honor.
And do you want to be in the breakout room with your client?
No, I think he can handle himself. He's good at speaking for himself.
All right, very good. Ms. Himes, anything else?
No, thank you, Your Honor.